Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Newsroom. My name is Kevin on channel HEAL 385, and I'm bringing you urgent news. The President of the United States, Kevin, is having an urgent address to the nation live now from his bunker in Zurich, Switzerland. Greetings, my fellow Switzerlands. Well, I'm not Swedish, but, Swedish is Sweden. I'm the president of the United States. I don't know what to call y'all. I'm in Switzerland, but I'm American. So, my fellow Americans, tonight I stand before you to discuss a silent threat, an insidious enemy lurking within the very walls of our bodies. It is not a foreign power, but not a terrorist organization, but a tiny bacterium known as Helicobacter pylori, or H. pylori for short. I'm currently in the beautiful nation of Switzerland, where the rates of H. pylori are among the lowest in the world, so I'm feeling a bit safe here talking in front of you all. This microscopic menace, often referred to as a silent killer, affects billions of people worldwide. It is a silent threat because it frequently goes unnoticed, lurking within the pits of our stomachs for years, even decades, without causing any symptoms. Yet, its potential for harm is immense. H. pylori is a leading cause of peptic ulcers, painful sores that can develop in the lining of our stomach and small intestine. These ulcers can cause severe abdominal pain, bleeding, and even perforation, a potentially life-threatening condition. But the dangers of H. pylori don't stop there. Chronic infection with this bacterium has been linked to a significantly increased risk of stomach cancer, a deadly disease with a high mortality rate, or otherwise known as gastric cancer. In fact, it's one of the highest risk factors for gastric cancer that arises in the lining of your stomach, and it kills 700,000 people a year worldwide. That's like the city of Boston just falling off the face of the earth every year, and no one wants that. The World Health Organization has classified H. pylori as a Class 1 carcinogen, meaning it is a proven cause of cancer. This is a serious designation, and it underscores the urgent need to address this issue promptly and correctly. The good news is that H. pylori infection is treatable. A combination of antibiotics and acid-reducing medications can effectively eradicate the bacteria from the body. However, many people remain unaware of their infection, and even those who are diagnosed may not seek treatment right away or at all. That is why I'm calling on all Americans and all people from Switzerland and all across the world to take action. Get tested for H. pylori, and if you are diagnosed with an infection, seek prompt treatment. Let's work together to raise awareness about this silent threat and encourage early detection and treatment. The cost of inaction is just simply too high. H. pylori infection can lead to debilitating symptoms, serious complications, and even death. By taking action, we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from this silent killer. I am urging my friends in Congress to allocate additional research in the public health initiatives at combating H. pylori infection. We need to develop better diagnostic tools, more effective treatments, and better targeted prevention strategies. We also need to address the root causes of H. pylori infection, which often stem from poor sanitization and inadequate resources to clean water and healthcare. This is a global challenge that requires international cooperation. That is why I'm calling on my peers tonight. Viola Ahmed, Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, Justin Trudeau, King Charles. I'll be meeting with you, and us as the world powers, we will come up together with a solution that benefits everyone equally. My fellow Americans, the fight against H. pylori is a battle that we can win. By working together, we can raise awareness, promote early detection and treatment, and ultimately eradicate the silent threat. Let us commit ourselves to a healthy future, a future free from the burden of H. pylori infection. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the New England Patriots. Alright, and we are back in the newsroom. I am your host and senior analyst on HEAL 385, Kevin. And that was President Kevin's presidential address to the nation. He was reporting live from Switzerland, where we are, and he was giving us the latest and greatest on one of the most pressing matters of our nation, H. pylori. I'll now analyze with you these points that the president laid out to us. Helicobacter pylori, or H. pylori, is a bacteria that attacks and infects your stomach. It often has no symptoms until it gives you ulcers, gastritis, and hopefully not gastric cancer. This is an image that we refuse to have painted for much longer, as it is a crucial step into achieving public health. The people infected with H. pylori, this bacteria, experience abdominal pain, bloating, nausea, as well as a lack of appetite. Some risk factors are overcrowding, poor sanitization, poor socioeconomic status, and just simply living in poor developed countries. Those are some incredible risk factors that must be looked into when discussing this disease and the possibility of a person having said disease. Transmission occurs from person to person between vomit and saliva. This is the most common method of transmission in the United States, whereas in poorer areas, waterborne transmission with fecal matter is more common. There are numerous tests for this disease, including tissue samples, urine tests, breath tests, and PCR tests. And it can stick in your body for a very long time if not treated, but treated with the proper medication and regimen, it can be eradicated from your body. And it was discovered in 1982 by Mr. Robin Warren and Dr. Marshall. He was a gastroenterologist. Okay. Now, the global prevalence of H. pylori infection in adults has declined from 50 to 55% to 43% between the years of 2014 and 2020. 30 to 40% of the U.S. population is infected with H. pylori already. And in the United States, the estimated prevalence is 20% for people younger than 30 years and 50% for those older than 60 years. The annual reinfection rate after successful eradication is less than 2% in adults in developed countries, but is higher, around 5 to 10% in adults in developing countries and in children. Lifetime prevalence of peptic ulcer disease with H. pylori infection is estimated around 10%. Around 90% of gastric cancer cases can be attributed to H. pylori infection. In 2018, 812 gastric cancers, including non-Hodgkin lymphoma of gastric location, were recorded, accounting for about 37% of all cancers driven by chronic infection, which makes H. pylori the most frequent carcinogenic pathogen. Adequate nutritional status, especially frequent consumption of fruits and vegetables and of vitamin C, appear to protect against infection with H. pylori. And then H. pylori is treated with the concoction of medications and antibiotics, varying on the patient as well as the strain of the bacteria. Pepto-Bismol, a proton pump inhibitor such as Protonix or Prilosec or esomeprazole, and antibiotics such as metronidazole, amoxicillin, linezolid, tetracycline, and some other things are all involved in that regimen to eradicate that from your body. There's also a combination medication called Pylera, which is obviously a play on words, and it comes in a box, and you just take it all at once instead of having all of these bottles near you. Reducing risk factors for the disease, like washing hands, practicing good food preparation, not living in a crowded area, not smoking, and maintaining a balanced diet are very important if you want to reduce your risk factors for this disease. Okay? Now, while the president can simply escape to his emergency bunker and chill with all his friends in Switzerland, you cannot. So, please recall the last few points that I just made to keep you and your family safe. So, thank you for tuning in on HTAL 385. That was the president, and that was senior analyst reporter Kevin live. Goodbye.